You can tell who the most committed actor at the table is because it'll be the person eating.
So the house in the movie is just absolutely stunning. Was that a real house or a soundstage?
Kind of both, wasn't it? Because the outside was real, and it must have been somewhat based on that on the interior.
But we had an exterior streetscape. I mean, I am always bowled over by the scenic artists who work on studio films. So we constructed the house because most of the film, apart from one or two breakouts like George going to the lake or Catherine going to Zurich, is in these really contained spaces. And the house is obviously Catherine and George's home, so it was a huge character in the film.
But it's a real house in Canonbury Square in Islington.
Yeah,
just in case anybody wants to store.
Near where my very first house was when I got married, and I used to think, I'd love one day to live in one of those houses. Yeah.
The dinner party scenes were so fun. What was the sort of dynamic like filming those?
It was fun. I mean, we keep saying the word intense, but it was fun too, wasn't it? Because it has to be when it's that intense, you have to have a bit of pressure release in between takes.
Yeah.
And how was it getting your hand stabbed?
It was fun. I mean, that was, a whole lot of people doing a lot of hard work and me doing nothing at all. But yeah.
Noamie, you are playing a therapist to spies, which I feel like is such an interesting job. Yeah, did you do any research on that or meet anybody who has that?
Yeah, so I worked with a clinical psychologist, and she went through the script and my character and the dialogue and what have you, and she said basically no therapist would actually operate like that at all. So I think Zoe has made her therapy her own unique style. It's very unorthodox, but she gets the results, and that's all that matters in that world, I think.
Cate, you and Michael have such intense chemistry, and I feel like you're both so on the same wavelength throughout the movie. How did you sort of calibrate that together in the relationship?
Well, they're a couple who interrogate absolutely everything for a living, second guess everything. And I think in order to hold on to their sanity and make their relationship work, because there's very few operatives who are able to, if you speak to them or listen to interviews that they've given after they've left the service, they find it really hard to maintain a relationship. And I think in order to maintain their relationship, they don't interrogate one another. They have just decided that this can only work if we have deep trust. So that was a really interesting thing to play. I mean, we all hoped we'd have that with a partner, about, our life partner, but it doesn't always happen that way.
Did you know Michael before this, or what was your relationship, I guess, going into filming?
Well, obviously, I knew him as an actor and have a huge admirer of his work. And I hate to say an actor's work is fearless because no one is, and you know how much it costs. But he's so skilled and he chooses such interesting roles. And we had a small role or a walk-by role in a Terrence Malick film. I don't even know if the scene ended up in the movie. But so we'd met before, but we'd never really done anything as complex or deep as this together.
There's all the great scenes at the end with the polygraph tests, and I wondered what sort of research you guys did before filming that. Have any of you done polygraph tests, or did you read up about them?
Never did a polygraph test. I should have done the research considering that I'm the one that was actually doing the test, but I'm pretty lazy. And we did have an expert on the day, I think his name was Mark, from South Africa, who basically did everything. I just had to sit there and try and figure out what lines I was saying. I'm joking, but that's actually true because I learned it the way it's presented on screen, which is dancing between all the different characters. But on the day, Stephen was like, we're just going to do all of Marissa's stuff together, Clarissa, or we're going to do all of Stokes' stuff together. And I was like, I haven't learned it like that. So I had these pages everywhere in front of the polygraph. So I was just concentrating on that. In the end, it didn't matter anyway because the camera's hardly ever on me. He could have told me that. Yeah.
He could have told me. Yeah, might be why. Exactly.
Thanks. There's your answer right there.
Do you think that you could pass a polygraph test if you were given one? Are you good liars?
I just think I'd be all over the place. I don't know how it works. Maybe it's super smart and actually just knows when you're lying. But if what it's measuring is your heart rate and your sweat and your whatever, then I think I would fail. Yeah,
it is that. It's the fact that it's covering all these different things. Most people, I think, would have that concern or bring that into a polygraph test. But the fact that it is taking all those different measurements, the sweat, pulse, it's probably designed for that, because I think most people would. I certainly would, yeah. Feel like I'd be getting them all wrong, which is a good way of lying also.
Yeah.
And the dinner party scene was so much fun. What was it like filming that with everyone?
Oh, it was a joy. It was an absolute joy. Because I think that's what stands out. The heart of this movie is in those dinner party scenes, and it's very much the first thing that jumps out of the script. Like, you see that, yes, the script is great, yes, Steven Soderbergh is directing it, but then this cast with those scenes, knowing that you're sitting around the table with Michael, Cate, Marisa, Naomi, Tom, Piers in the other scenes, knowing that you get to use this text, which almost feels like doing Chekhov with your fellow castmates, and you're throwing it across the table, something super interesting and unexpected is coming back. You relish coming into work every day. Because Steven set it up that we're kind of off the leash. He's just like, go find it with your castmates. Bring me something interesting. I will find that and I'll come in with the camera. So you're in such good hands. You really can just relax into the whole thing. It's incredible.
And you can tell who the most committed actor at the table is, because it'll be the person eating. We talked about this earlier, Tom Burke.
Yeah.
I was about to say there's no competition on that one. Yeah.
It's like, is there any more food? Sorry, is there any more food?
Yeah.
And then I have a couple of dinner party related sort of rapid fire questions for you all. So if you get invited to a dinner party, what are you bringing with you?
Oh.
I mean, the standard bottle of wine. Even though I don't drink, that's what I always bring.
I think a bottle of wine and then something a little random, like a pineapple.
Oh, interesting.
For afterwards. A bottle of sake.
Okay.
Something they may not necessarily have. And I think it's always nice to bring a candle. Something I really don't like is the smell. I love smell of garlic, but the next day, someone's cooked a roast, the smell next day of meat. So you give them a candle, it's like your house doesn't need to stink to me.
Wine.
Yeah.
My sparkling personality.
If the invitation says 7 p.m., what time are you showing up?
7:15.
Yeah, 7:15. Maybe 7:30 sometimes.
I'd go 7 or 5 too.
Oh, wow, you've been well brought up. The Queen's always early. Yeah.
Probably 5 to 7, because I'm married to a Swedish woman, and she always sort of likes to be on time. So yeah, we'd be on time.
I think
I'd be
the
on time.
rudest thing that a guest can do is be early. The absolute
You're right, and that's the problem, especially if you're living in a Latin country. They're like, you came on time. It's like the worst thing you can do.
If you could put one musical artist on the playlist for the night, who's it going to be?
Probably Miles Davis or John Coltrane.
I'm not saying it's just because it has the word dinner in, but the last dinner party I do love.
Oh, yes.
Actually, Alicia did a little playlist that Stevens used in the film. So she actually gets a credit. Yeah, Vicarious, DJ Vicarious. That's Alicia.
Wow!
Yeah.
Cool.
Is that an exclusive?
That's an exclusive.
Yeah.
I think we're all hiring Alicia.
Yeah, for sure. DJ, what is it?
Vicarious.
Vicarious.
And then lastly, if you could invite one person who you've never met before to a dinner party, who is it going to be?
I mean, I'd love to take Dave Chappelle. I have met him, but he's not someone I know, so I think I'm allowed that. Yeah. Go stumped.
Say Chekhov.
Chekhov. You take Chekhov.
Alive or dead?
I think alive.
Alive, yeah.
Alive. One living person you've never met.
Mine was dead.
I have to say, I'll brag here for a second. I had dinner last night with Dorinda Medley from from New York. And I feel like I've reached the apex, so.
Did you watch The Traitors?
Yeah, I was furious, obviously. Yeah.
I'm probably Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, cool.
I have no idea. I'm completely blank.
First thing that comes into your head. Donald Duck.
You know what? I'd take Donald Duck. I think that'd be great. I'd work on my impression.
This is
great.
quite the dinner.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, I want to be there too.
He's gone. He's lost it.